Hey gardeners, thank you guys so much for watching. In this video, I am going to be repotting the Rhaphidophora decursiva. I think that's how you pronounce it. I actually showed you guys this, I believe I showed it to you actually in my clearance haul. I'll have to go back and look at that. I do not remember. Ugh, it's been a long day. Anyway, so this plant is overdue for a repot. Like, it should have been repotted probably months ago, but you know, plants at the growers, they don't really up pot them unless they absolutely have to. So I could tell this plant was in need of some serious repotting because, you know, those roots started growing out of the pot, and that's really how you can tell. Is like you'll see roots around the surface of the soil, and then if you pull the plant out of the pot, you can see roots, you know, growing down the backside, and those you see right there are aerial roots, and then there are roots coming out of the bottom of the pot as well. So crazy. I love a good repot like this. So here I'm squishing it because it was too tough to actually pull the pot off. So I'm squishing it to kind of loosen everything up. And I had to take my glove off because I really needed to hold on really good to this plant without breaking anything. So as you can see, the roots are wrapping all around the bottom, all around the sides. When it gets to a point like this or worse than this, you'll notice that you'll have less and less soil in the pot because there's so many roots in there and the soil is getting washed away. So right now I'm just going to clip part of the bottom if I can get them open. So I'm clipping this so that I can help this plant root out into the new soil. It's just the same as you would you know, with your garden plants. You just want to rough it up a bit. All the roots are so wound tight that sometimes it can be difficult to do that, but don't be afraid to go ahead and rough it up a little bit. Not too much. You don't want to be, you know, breaking off half of the root system. So you guys may not know this, but I am super messy when it comes to gardening and like doing anything with soil. I fling it everywhere. I dump it everywhere. It's always a mess when I'm repotting. Always a mess. There's just, I mean, I've tried to be tidier with it. It just does not work. So you guys get to see it all. You get to see the mess. And that's just that's just how it's gonna be, because I cannot put on airs. It's just too hard. This plant is looking so good in this pot, and I guarantee that this plant will take off in growth since it's been repotted. Like, I already know, like, it's going to outgrow this pot probably within 6 months. Such a good looking plant. Such a good looking plant. So now I'm just gonna do a little tidying up. Just wiping these countertops down because you know, messy. get soil everywhere. So after you repot any plant, you should water it in. After you put a plant in the ground, you should always water it in. However, I do have an exception to this with potted plants. If the plant is already wet, I do not water it right away. I will water it after a couple days because there are certain plants that do not like to sit in wet soil. So if it's a succulent, if it's a like a Hoya, a Discidia, what else? Any sort of cactus, anything that does not like to have wet, soggy soil, I do not repot it if it has been, I do not water it in if it has been recently watered. I learned the hard way on that because I am a heavy waterer. So like the water does not like dry up as quickly because I sit and I saturate the soil. And you can't overwater something when you're watering it and it has a drain hole. The way that you overwater is you water too often. So like this plant is completely saturated. I will not be rewatering it until probably about 2 to 3 weeks because it's just that wet. Look how gorgeous. Look how gorgeous this plant is. It's actually a couple plants in one. I think it's about 3 to 4 different vines in this pot, which will make it a nice full looking plant here soon. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and leave me a comment. Bye.